This video, good morning. Good morning. Let me start it this way. Good afternoon. Good evening, family. Welcome to the Mental House. I am your host, Khadijah. Yes, this video, I think I'm going to have to do it not in two parts, but in two different spirits. How about that one? And the first spirit that I decide to summon down is going to be one that I know that I'm going to take my time and think about what I'm saying. And I'm going to try to be very considerate that I don't be offensive to the majority of people that are listening. However, what I suggest that you do is get your children out of the room if you let them listen to my videos. If they're anywhere in the vicinity, you might want to get them out for the second part of it, because in a few minutes it's going to be Raw and Ratchet Wednesday, and I cannot wait to put my Raw hat on and go in big time. Go in big time. But in the meantime, I'm going to try to keep it civil, and I'm going to try to contain myself. I want to say this to my son, Colin Kaepernick. I love you. I love you, my son. I love you. I love you. I love you. As far as I'm concerned, you have elevated your status in the eyes of who it really matters to. All the masters of the universe. White Feather, Nakanandi, White Feather. All the great ancestors are smiling at you for standing up for truth. Dr. King, Malcolm X, every one of them are looking down on you and proud that you even had the courage to say what you said in the way that you said it. And I don't know if that was your intention. I don't know if you could have even possibly imagined all the backlash that you was going to get from saying what you said. But you're walking in those footsteps right now. Muhammad Ali had to walk them. Jackie Robinson had to walk them. Who, by the way, did not salute the flag either. And I don't have time in this calm, serene place that I'm in right now to try to even explain the pathology and the psychosis of narcissism and the controlled population, the dominant society, and the sick people that they are. Because anytime you got army bases set up all over the world and you all over the country in other people's business trying to keep them killed and suppressed and oppressed and doing it all in the name of democracy, and when you're not even at home, you're all abroad starting stuff, then I know it's nothing but the ultimate super narcissist spirit, the great narcissist spirit that would allow you to think that if Colin Kaepernick was a white person being treated the way black people in this society are being treated, and people of color every day, and if the burden was on the white man, then they would have already retaliated. Okay, in a whole different way. Like probably like Paul Revere and those guys. Give me liberty or give me death and all the rest of them. That's what would have happened. Okay, because there's no way in the world that the dominant society would take the suppression that they are putting on us as the oppressed people. Okay, as if we have to beg them for God-given rights. That's the first step in the narcissism right there. A great mind, a great creator created us all, and yet you think that you have the nerve and the audacity to give somebody rights. That's the first sign of your ass is crazy. Oop, oop, oop. That's the first sign of the madness. So y'all see I'm getting a little bit hot under the collar, and so I'm trying to refrain myself because I still got a few more minutes before it's Raw and Ratchet Wednesday. So in the meantime, I want to be real clear and share this with you. And it's called Why I Don't Salute the Flag. When I go to sporting events, I always avoid the national anthem. I hate the music, the singing is always terrible, and I find it generally distasteful. Aside from that, I desperately want to avoid the awkwardness of being expected to remove my hat and salute the flag, because I won't. I won't salute the flag because of what it represents. It is certainly legitimate to render honor where it is due, but there is no honor due to this flag and what it stands for. The flag of the United States of America is a piece of cloth representative of an oppressive state, one which has murdered thousands of people in unjust wars. The flag represents a state that actively protests and funds those who murder innocents. It represents a state which regularly persecutes persons who commit victimless crimes. The flag represents a state which performs massive surveillance that violates personal security and claims the right to conscript me into any war that they wish, making me their slave. The flag represents an empire more murderous than any state in the history of the world. I repeat that. The flag represents an empire more murderous than any state in the history of the world. The flag does not represent some ethereal platonic ideal of freedom, justice, or opportunity long since lost in history. It represents the historic and current actions of the state, and all it has done and continues to do: harm, rob, and kill people all around the world. And it's because of this I refuse to salute the flag of the United States of America. And I always will. Now, I believe this was written by R. Campbell Sproul. But if that's not enough, I really do believe that as a solution to the climate and all the madness that is going on, because Colin made the statement that he made, I think that in an ideal world, all black people will receive mental health services free of charge, and all of us would be dealing with and being able to have free treatment for post-traumatic stress that comes from living every day under the wicked domination of insane psychopaths. White people actually should be made, they should all be locked down and make them all watch the movie White Man's Burden. And actually not watch it, they should have to live it. They should have to live the movie. That's what I meant to say. They should be made to live that movie, White Man's Burden, starring John Travolta and Harry Belafonte. Okay? Because they can't take it. In fact, they can't even take watching it. They can't take watching stuff like Black Like Me. Because they cannot take watching the image of their own madness and psychology and their own pathology and their own insanity. So what they'll do is try to project the responsibility and the everything, projecting all the madness onto the societies of color. So that in itself is a severe problem. And just for the record, again, Colin Kaepernick is not the only person who has refused to salute the flag. Muhammad Ali, for instance, Jackie Robinson, Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. Remember, he was Chris Jackson. He played for Denver Nuggets at one time. He was really, and they just pretty much got him out of the league in the prime. I even think about people like Craig Hodges, who was pretty much blackballed out of the league for speaking up about inequality. And Colin, you put yourself in this position, but the only thing that bothers me the most when I hear this is the Sambos that are coming out to defend the flag as opposed to shutting their mouths. And one day, just like America deals with her traitors, one day there's going to be a society that deals with black traitors as well. I'm sure of it. People that do stuff that purposely keep people sick, purposely keeps white supremacy alive, purposely feeds into the propaganda machine. So all the race soldiers can come out, and all the white supremacists that are on my page or that send me stuff in my, matter of fact, they're not on my page as much as they even send me emails or hit my inbox. So and the thing about it is, a lot of times I just try to have a bird's eye view, and I try to just look at society from an elevated position. I just look at how crazy everything is. You know, what I've learned so far, what I've seen so far, what is still happening. Let me tell y'all something. My great-grandmother was a slave, was a daughter of a slave. My great-grandmother was a slave. So sometimes we act like slavery is so far removed. My great-grandmother was a slave. Okay? So, when I put it in context of what it really is, we really haven't been mentally free or even physically free that long. Which attributes to a lot of the psychosis that black people even have. Okay? But this is narcissism at its best. It's narcissism. Think of the whole dynamic when you hear a person or like a Donald Trump saying we're going to take our country back. How narcissistic is that? When the Native American was here first. How crazy is it when that Christopher Columbus used black people to scout out and to help him navigate Moors? Those are black people. That's us. Okay? And now society has flipped it to even a point where you have black people oppressing other black people. This is why I call this space the mental house. This channel the mental house. Because it is really, really imperative that we really understand this craziness going on the planet. So Colin doesn't have the right to even speak out as far as these races are concerned. He doesn't even have the right, because he's standing behind that flag. No matter what happens and no matter what's going on in the name of this flag, he has no right to his personal feelings. And because you get some money, someone says you got this kind of paycheck, what the hell does that have to do? What sense does that make to bring that up? And because and that's the mentality. Because I gave you money, that means you should never speak out about the way you feel. Now, because I know that the next few seconds, a few minutes of my video is going to be a little peppered, I decided to bring my prop and put it right here, because I'm going to need this right about now. In my opinion, black people, we are emotionally retarded, politically retarded. We're very proud, and it's something that we inherited to a point of ignorance. We're hard-headed, stiff-necked, and extremely rebellious. That's what Elijah Muhammad said about him and about us. And I agree 110%. We're very fucking stupid, okay, when it comes to a lot of stuff. Because when I sit up there and look at the fool that this economy makes out of us, the foolishness that goes on, and the fuckery that goes on every day in this society, I wonder why, Justin Timberlake or Sam Smith that's singing R&B music, do you ever see them out here taking pictures with they Bentleys and saying, yeah, this is my ride, yeah, look at my ride, look at this is look at my crib? Do you ever see these white guys performing like this? Why do we always have to be show monkeys? That's a damn problem, and it's a very serious issue tied directly to our self-esteem. Directly to it. Because we crazy. We are loyal to a fucking a degree of when somebody flashes some money in our face. And then we'll sell out all of everybody. We have no loyalty to one another. None whatsoever. None. In fact, we have become willing participants in our own damn demise. That's what I believe. But I also believe that it is a waste of our time to try to argue racism with white people. Okay? It is a waste of your time to try to eradicate it. You can only break down the system of white supremacy. The majority of white people, okay, are pompous, arrogant, insecure extremely. I mean, and how could you not be if you've been given false information about how great you are? The education system has fed you nothing but lies about how great Christopher Columbus and all these forefathers and black people didn't do anything. These people have been fed a bunch of lies. Okay? And so this is where that pompous and arrogant behavior comes from. So that's why they got to be forced into a situation where they have to live the movie White Man's Burden. Otherwise, you're going to be spinning your wheels in the mud trying to deal with these psychopaths about your reality. You don't have to try to convince them, because they, and then the ones that know, they know because they created this shit. When you go down to the courthouse, they know. They see injustice. They see it. They pick up the read when they see another black person got shot. They justify it just the same way those people justified slavery. Just like the white woman turned her back when she seen all those mulatto children running around the plantation, and she go, "Oh, our babies must have some kind of some kind of disease." Walter said he got some. It makes all of them look caramel when they come out. Okay, it's called denial. Okay, so now it is a waste of your time and a waste of your energy to try to talk individually with these psychopaths. You would not go down to a main mental health and try to convince any of those patients in there what a normal way of thinking and living was. You wouldn't even do it. And that's why it is very imperative to you that you not put yourself in that arena, in my opinion, with white people. You don't see the Chinese people doing it. The Japanese, you don't see them doing it. Because they don't get in bed with these sociopaths. They don't get in bed with these psychotic, pompous, arrogant, insane, psychotic beings. They don't even do it. I don't even want to say, I'm just saying beings. They don't get in bed with them. They do what they got to do. They figure out how to support themselves. This only thing we have to do with this government is try to get what it owes us. And the only way we're going to do that is to break down the system of white supremacy. These people were so crazy that they think for 500 years they could have had free labor to build this country into the greatest nation, okay, on earth, the richest nation on earth. Yet and still, we're a problem because we're saying, wait, you stole all this stuff from my great-great-grandmother. Somebody got to collect. Just like you would be collecting if this was reversed. And we stole all this stuff from your ancestors. Look at the Vatican, full of the gold and stuff they stole from Africa. Look at all this stuff. And they flaunt this shit in your face and then be so narcissistic to say to you, you better not say anything. You better act like the world is great and see everything through rose-colored glasses. And even if you are in a spiritual mode, even when you try to elevate yourself to the highest possible level, you have to put yourself in a situation where you are controlling your only dynamic that you can control is, you have to put yourself in a situation that the only thing that you really can control is yourself. Honestly. Because you have these black demons that sell you out to these white psychopaths. Okay? Always have, always will. Alright? And since you know this is what's happened, it would be even crazy when you hear white people tell you get back and go to Africa. Why should I? Why should I pack up and go back to Africa? And if I don't like what's happening in America, if anybody can say what they don't like about America, it should be me, because my ancestors built this bitch. Don't get it twisted. My ancestors' blood, sweat, and tears built it while you sat in the house and drank lemonade. You stole the wealth from black people. You stole their wealth. You took hundreds and hundreds of years of free labor, and now you are angry because the chickens are coming home to roost, and the only way you can resolve this problem is to shoot us and say that we're unreasonable to even ask for a free education, or we're even unreasonable to say we need mental health care. You did all that stuff to us through the slave trade. Raped us, made us sleep with our sons, made us have sex with our brothers. You did all this psychological damage to us through the side, and you don't think we deserve free health care? You don't think that, huh? Well, I tell you what. You give it, and you gave it reparations to the Japanese. You gave it to the Jewish people. And I think that you owe it to black people. And for you to have a damn nerve, you don't want to give them what you owe them, that you stole from their people. That's like you steal my damn mother's car. And now you stole it and you gave it to your son and your son is driving it. I have no claim to tell your son to get up out my mother's car? How narcissistic and crazy are you? Because if you can't see the world through the eyes of the real reality of what it is and the white psychosis that's going on this planet, the white, it's not even supremacy, it's the white pathology psychosis that would attack Colin Powell, excuse me, that would attack this young man, but yet and still you don't want to even talk about reparations, and you stole money. So the least you can do is let a person speak out and vent about how they feel. You've gotten everything you've gotten off the wealth of black people and brown people, and you got the nerve to sit up here. We built the country, don't forget it. And guess what? Now you've driven us crazy, you've driven us mad. If that's not enough what you did on the overpasses, bringing us over here where you had the sharks following the boats so tough. If that's not enough damage and mental abuse and physical abuse, you don't want grown people to speak out about how they feel, and they're watching themselves get shot down every damn day in the streets like dogs. And you mad because somebody don't want to salute the flag. Well, I say, fuck yourself. That's what I say. I say, fuck yourself, and I can't pay attention to you because I realize that you need to be in a mental institution. You white folks need to be locked up and made them live white man's burden. They have to. They have to. Because otherwise there's nowhere in the world their arrogance and their pompousness is going to allow them to see and have any empathy for somebody that is non-white. Now, it's Raw and Ratchet Wednesday, and like I said, I'm not going to hold no punches. I'm saying what I mean, and I mean what I damn say. And y'all need to back up off of Colin Kaepernick. You need to back up off of him. And all you Uncle Toms, all you coon licking Negroes like Jerry Rice and the other young men that won't let this man say his say, you shut up. If you don't have nothing, sometimes you don't have nothing good to say, shut up. That's all you need to do, is just shut up. Because we have a history of seeing Negroes like you sell us out. We have a history of that. That you're so afraid that white people are not going to like you. You're so afraid. It hasn't gotten you anywhere. It hasn't. You know, so just cut all the coon dancing and the buck dancing. Alright? Just stop it. Now, I've had my vent for today. I thank you for listening. If you like what you hear, please subscribe. And I will see you next time in the dang on mental house. Bye-bye.